Hello and welcome to Firewalk with us. I'm Paul.
Dave?
And Justin.
And this is episode 8. We're talking about The Last Evening. So in this episode, James and Donna sneak into the office of Lawrence Jacoby, hoping to find out more about Laura, whom he had been treating. Cooper and Ed Hurley go undercover at One-Eyed Jack's, a Canadian brothel and casino. Cooper speaks to drug dealer Jacques Renault, who he believes is connected to Laura's death, posing as a drug financer. Cooper persuades Renault to meet him in the U.S. Renault is eventually shot and killed later in the hospital. Shelley Johnson is at home when Leo returns and assaults her. He drives her to the sawmill, ties her up, and rigs a time device to set the building on fire. Meanwhile, Josie Packard has a chat with Hank, giving him $90,000. It was revealed that Josie paid Hank to serve 18 months in prison. This ensured that neither of them would be implicated in the death of her husband, from whom she had inherited the mill. The mill, not the mule. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Catherine is later called to the mill, and Pete goes in to save her after the device goes off and the mill is in flames.
Who called her to the mill?
Oh, no mystery. Leo Johnson also attempts to kill Shelley's lover, Bobby Briggs, but is shot. Cooper returns to his hotel room and orders room service, but before he can read a note that was left earlier by Audrey, Deputy Brennan calls him to inform him that Leo Johnson had been shot. However, a knock on the door draws him away from the phone. When he opens the door, an unseen figure shoots him 3 times, and we cut to credits.
Perfect ending.
It is.
Couldn't have asked for anything better.
There is a lot of cliffhangers in this episode.
Well, yes.
So many cliffhangers.
The Drake girl basically drugs herself to what I would assume is death.
Yeah, Nadine.
Maybe.
That's her name.
Okay.
You still don't know the names, huh?
No, I don't know all of the names. I didn't really catch most of them
Yeah.
throughout the series. There's a lot of people in this.
There is a lot of people in this.
So many.
But,
Okay, so one of the things I didn't mention up front in the plot summary is Audrey and her time at One-Eyed Jack's.
Yeah.
And I figured that's where we'll start.
is that really where
Yeah.
we're going to start? That, just that? She picks a card out. She picks the Queen of Diamonds.
Yes.
And I get some.
We also find out some important things about One-Eyed Jack's, though. We find out who the owner is.
Ah, yes.
We find out that Ben Hone. Okay, brain. Ben Horn owns One-Eyed Jack's.
Audrey Foya.
Father.
Yes, father.
See.
And Audrey is instructed to, quote-unquote, meet the owner.
Yeah.
That only makes things a little awkward. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to tie it up, in the next episode, next season, whatever.
Yeah.
Yes. So what were the big takeaways for you from this episode? Let's start with Dave.
Lots of people are kind of taken out of commission in
Yeah.
the story.
Yeah, the story.
Starting off with Dr. Jacoby
he gets
getting
knocked
smacked
right
in
out.
the back of the head by the supposed gentleman we saw at the end, but again,
Who knows?
we're not sure.
We don't know.
Again,
He's a mess
who knows
man.
how many people dressed in black have kind of gone around to do deeds of not niceness. Aside from that, Nadine as well, just very sad.
Dressing up in
things.
a little princess outfit.
Yeah, going back to her happy times to think of something happy before ending things. Whether or not it's the fact that she's dead or just kind of out of commission, we're not sure. Gentleman that Cooper was tailing at the casino, Jacques, I believe his name,
Yeah, Jacques Renault.
gets caught. And yes, he does get shot. I was a little questioning whether that was the case. But yes, he did get shot.
By Andy. Boom.
He got that shot real well.
Okay, I actually want to talk about this
Yeah.
because for the entire season we've seen Andy as rather bumbling.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
What do you think of him being the one to shoot Jacques and save Harry?
Kind of a build-up of the story of Andy couldn't really do that good at the shooting range and whatnot, and he had that bit of incompetence, and he actually got that shot in and saved the sheriff with all that sort of stuff. It's like, yeah, Andy did a great
Although
thing.
I'm trying to think, like, what exactly built up to that with him, though.
I-
Really.
So I like this, if for no other reason than it gives Andy kind of a cool little character thing where, like, yeah, he's kind of bumbling and he's kind of dumb, but when the chips are down, Andy's like the fucking man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they were talking about it kind of conveniently in front of
Lucy.
Lucy. And I guess Lucy would overhear. I think that's the intention. And then they're like, go get her, Andy.
Yeah,
So then he goes to see her. And then
we find
closing
out.
the door on him. And then they start kissing before saying anything. And then she's all like, I'm pregnant. And then he just kind of walks out.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's not going to come up next season at all.
There's the possibility.
I couldn't
think-
stop laughing when I
I
saw
think
that,
mostly the question is the concern that, oh shoot, I got a woman pregnant, or he's not sure whose it is.
I'm pretty sure he's very disappointed and just walking away. It's just sad.
Okay, so a rather important thing happens in this episode is not a main character, but an important character dies in Jacques Renault.
Yes.
So-
And the one gentleman decided to do it.
Yes, Leland Palmer.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So
He's a killer.
he is.
Yes.
So, do we think that this is just Leland finding out who everybody thinks killed his daughter and kind of taking revenge? Or is there something more to this?
Mostly I just kind of saw it as that. He wanted something to... The words I can't really find the words for it, but he wants to sort of figure out and place blame on a particular person. And it being so long and with him suffering through so much, his only option in his head is, yeah, you gotta kill the guy to do it. And then just like, no. He does it anyway. It's just like, you just complicated all the things.
He's pretty messed up in the head.
Yeah,
I would
just
say.
teeny bit. I can't fault him for that, but still, this is a full of things.
Okay, so another plot point that's resolved in this episode is the Icelanders do sign the contract for the Ghostwood Estates.
And
Yes.
they're gone.
And they leave.
Thank bloody God.
Okay.
Get a decent night's sleep.
Well, yeah, after being shot, so
Yeah.
So the mill is on fire at the end of the episode with Catherine and Shelley both inside.
Yeah.
Pete goes in to save both of... Well, he doesn't know that Shelley's in there, but he goes in
Yeah.
to save Catherine.
Mm.
And Pete gets a really awesome moment there. What do we think's going to happen there?
With... the names escape me, but...
Pete or
With the
Catherine?
lady... Catherine.
Okay.
With her, she seemed decently enough confident while the fire and whatnot was kind of going along. So supposedly, I think she might have an idea of how to get out of there without getting burnt alive and get Shelley out of there as well.
Yeah, although
But-
Pete might end up kicking the bucket.
It wouldn't
Maybe.
surprise me because he's well-meaning, but with most concerns, he probably might get caught up in something and might not make it out.
Okay. So also in this episode, Leo gets shot.
Yeah.
Leo finally gets shot.
Again.
Yeah,
True.
he likes getting shot, apparently.
What do we think's going to happen with Leo?
I don't know, I mean...
I think with the second shot from where it sort of struck, if it isn't taken care of soon, he's probably not gonna make it.
At least he was enjoying the last of that whatever soap opera was on TV.
Either that or he was
Invitation.
seeing
The
the
only,
image of where he was.
The only show on television.
Yeah.
Okay. So the end of the episode I want to talk about briefly. And that is Cooper goes back to his room. He finds the note from Audrey. And he answers a phone that we find out is Andy.
Mhm.
He opens the door and gets shot 3 times.
Yeah.
Now, you'll notice when Cooper was walking down the hallway, he mentioned that he called room service.
Yes.
So keep that in mind,
Okay.
because that's going to come back in Season 2.
Okay.
And my other question is, who do you think shot Cooper?
Who would room service end up being?
So, the character who is going to deliver room service isn't going to be crucial. But, okay, so the character who delivers the room service isn't necessarily crucial, but the character involved in it is going to play a crucial role.
Let's see.
Wow.
But who do we think shot Cooper?
As it kind of sits, since we haven't seen any sort of discerning features or not any sort of close idea on it, well, two things we're thinking.
Is there
on it.
anyone
The
that
first
would
one
want
is
him
Bob.
out of the picture?
The first one is Bob,
Okay.
but then the second one that comes up is a gentleman whose name I forgot, who came in to assist with the autopsy.
Oh, way back when?
Yeah.
Eh.
Well, not so much him specifically, but someone under him.
That came in to assist with the author. You mean Albers?
I believe so.
I can't imagine him coming back.
Not so
Any
much
reason.
him, but someone under his order, sort of thing.
Okay. I have to ask, why would you suspect him? Because Albert was a federal agent as well.
True.
Well,
I'm
because
not
he would
sure.
hold that grudge against him for not signing that thing to, get Harry charged for that assault.
There is that. I think mostly just from his personality that I sort of noticed from it. That if I think pushed to certain extremes, he probably would be decent enough with going a little over the law to try and get what he wanted done.
At the very least, he does his job still. I mean,
Well,
if
best
he takes him out of the picture, that would kind of hinder his job out of him. And maybe, I don't know.
Well, I think he was mostly just brought on assistance thing. It's not specifically his job. His job was only assisting with Cooper's job.
Yeah.
After everything was sort of over, he was kind of done and over with it. But all the additional things, such as getting punched and all the supposed, in his mind, disrespect he got from all the townspeople.
Okay, I mean that's an interesting take on it. Okay, so who wants to go first? Who do you think the killer is and why after first season?
Well, I think as it is, Leo's kind of out of the picture now, with the supposed risk of he probably dead with that second shot. But as it kind of sits, it's still kind of sitting with Bob. Because, I don't know, I still have that weird sort of inkling with Bob, but he's going to be vital coming into season 2.
Okay. Justin?
I'm taking suspicions off of Catherine.
Okay. Because she could very well be dead.
No, I can't imagine her being dead.
Okay.
I mean, she can, but I can't see her as being dead. Who was the other suspect I had in mind?
I know for a while you were suspecting Josie.
I was suspecting Josie, although there is something else with her that is kind of behind the scenes.
Yes.
Like between her and Hank.
Yeah.
So there is still something there? I don't know. It's really hard to put it here.
Okay.
And maybe still Audrey. I have absolutely no idea.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, do either of you have anything you noticed that you wanted to talk about in this episode?
Well, at least that Jacques Renault, he knew quite a lot about what happened that night with Laura
He did.
and Leo and whatnot. Like, it was almost like as if he was bragging about knowing all that.
Yes. Do we think that Jacques, obviously he can't be the killer, or if he is, I mean, he's dead.
Yeah.
How important do we think what Jacques said in this episode is going to be going forward?
Possibly little bits of it. I think the main sort of note I kind of got off of it was for other people supposedly watching and sort of hearing what Jacques sort of said about things like, finally, they'll get all the particular info about everything. They'll finally solve this mystery.
No.
And then he dies. And then it's just sort of this, well, son of a mother.
So apparently he knew there's something about a bird pecking.
Yeah, the bird very much liked that.
Yeah. Laura also, she bit the poker chip thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Upon Leo's request, I believe. Well, demand.
Rather, I'm pretty sure if she's all tied up and she's told to do something.
Yeah, more so demand.
Okay. So, David, did you have anything you want to talk about from this episode? Because there's a number of cliffhangers and stuff that happen in this.
No, this episode was kind of a case of a lot of people were kind of being taken out of commission or dropping like flies. Hank did a whole bunch in this episode too.
Yeah,
Like for just getting out of prison and whatnot, finding out, oh, he's working with the person who owns the mill for all the particular stuff with the murder and whatnot. Oh man, he supposedly shot Leo because he wasn't doing his job.
Okay. So, do you think Hank shot Cooper?
I'm not sure. There's an inkling in the back of my head that he's probably part of a lot of supposed doings within Twin Peaks, but anything with what happened recently with him being in prison, probably nothing related to the murder, but not really sure if he's heard any sort of specific information about Cooper that we were specifically shown.
Yeah, he doesn't. For what we know, at least at this point in the series, he doesn't know a whole lot about Cooper. He just knows he's in town investigating Laura's murder.
Indeed.
Okay, so the show has hinted at a supernatural element, and we've
Little
talked
bits.
about this a couple of times.
Little bits.
It hasn't really come up in a while, though.
No.
Not really, but I mean, a whole bunch of shit happened in this episode, that's for sure.
Yes,
Coincidentally.
yes, this was very much a please don't cancel us episode.
Mm.
So with the major character dying, who was a major suspect in Laura's death, have you changed your mind on how important the supernatural elements are going to be?
It's possibly going to come back. With what I supposedly understand with this series, it's probably going to come back with a vengeance.
Justin?
I'd like to see more.
More of the supernatural stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to go back to the Red Room, you want to see more of that?
Oh yeah, I mean, there has to be more of that.
Okay, that'll be interesting. So, do either of you have any questions for me after season 1?
We're never gonna find out the actual killer, are we?
No, it's going to be one of those lovely little things that sits at the back of my mind. It's driving us absolutely insane.
We just know that Laura Palmer's father, I can't remember the name of for some reason. Even though we
Leland.
said it. Leland, yeah, is
It's
definitely
now-
a killer now,
Yeah.
at the very least.
Okay, so Justin, do you want me to answer that question? Keeping in mind, I will not tell you if they reveal who the killer is. I won't tell you who it is, but I will tell you if they do reveal it.
Okay, do they actually reveal it?
Yes.
Okay,
Hmm.
interesting.
And it is not revealed in the way you would expect. Or at least when you would expect.
Hmm.
So, randomly in the middle of the season?
You'll find out.
Okay,
Either
fine.
that or right at the start. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be.
Dave, did you have any questions for me?
Nah, as it is.
Alrighty. So, there was a book released between season 1 and 2 called The Secret Diary of Laura Palmer. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you read it.
Thank you.
Primarily because if you read the book, I think it kind of gives away who the killer is.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, because it would probably mention his name or her name
No.
somewhere in there or something.
It doesn't directly name the killer.
Oh,
but-
it just like mentions like details of this character.
No, but
Point you in the sort of right
Yeah.
direction of thinking.
if you read the book, you kind of go, oh, it's not. You're 90% sure of who it is.
Hmm.
So I will give you some hints from the book. I'm not going to give you major plot points from it. But going into season 2, what are you expecting from the show in season 2? What do you want to see happen in season 2?
Well, is Leo really dead? Is Drapery Girl really dead? How do they make it out the burning
Okay.
windmill?
So let me change the question. Other than the cliffhanger set up at the
Yeah,
end of
I
the
know.
season,
Obviously,
what are you
that's gonna
expecting
start
to
off with that.
get from the show?
Answers would be nice.
Answers
Answers would definitely be nice.
Answers to which questions?
Some of the particular questions that need to sort of be answered as it kind of sits.
So you want to know who the killer is.
Well, there is that, but other particular sort of additional questions along the rest of the story that's kind of been going on.
Like, give me a couple of examples of what you
hell's
want
wrong
answered.
with Leland?
Okay, that's an interesting one.
How big is the stuff that Hank is working with go?
Okay. We will maybe not get a 100% answer to that, but we will get more information about it.
And of course, there's some additional information about the log lady couldn't hurt.
Yes, we will get more of the log lady as well.
Better.
Yeah. Also, insanity. Weird, visionary, very insanity. Well, Red Room stuff and other additional things.
So you want to see more of that supernatural element.
It's possibly going to be there. I'll be there to somewhat accept it, but I'll kind of be like, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay, so now that you've seen season 1, what did you think of it?
It works for what it was trying to do, I think.
Yeah, it's engaging. I'll say that much.
Lays down the mystery for everyone, gives you kind of the aspects of drama and whatnot for going through that sort of stuff.
It gives you a reason to care about characters and stuff.
Meh.
Okay. Is there anything about season 1 that you didn't like?
Bobby.
Bobby, there's nothing wrong with Doofus A. We didn't see enough of Doofus B, though.
It probably would have been for the best. Because on the one hand, it's understandable that that sort of character is needed in that sort of story. And once you kind of get a bit more information about the sort of stuff that he's gone through, being with,
Shelley.
was it Shelley? Or
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sort of going through that sort of thing. It's understandable, but still, God damn it, Bobby. God flip it, damn it.
Okay. I have one other character that we haven't really talked about yet. So we see Dr. Jacoby get a beat down in this episode and have a heart attack.
Yeah.
What do we think is going to happen with Jacoby come season 2? Because we know he isn't dead.
No, he's definitely hospitalized.
Yes.
Still possibly has some important points to run over.
Okay. Justin, you have any thoughts about what we might get from Jacoby?
He'll probably be in a coma. I don't know.
Okay.
I
So,
think that's probably heading a little bit too much into the drama territory.
my last question for this episode. Who are the, let's say, 3 characters you're going to be keeping an eye on in season 2? Not necessarily as suspects, but the ones you're most interested in following.
Audrey is one of them.
Okay.
Ditto.
Okay.
Probably Leland after, murdering that guy.
Okay. So, is it just because Leland killed somebody, or is there...
Well, you kind of keep an eye on him anyways because of his just general behaviors around, things.
For sure.
And probably Andy. I'm not quite sure where he's going to go from that bombshell.
Fair enough. Alrighty.
So let's see.
And I think aside from me with the other 2, it's probably going to be Hank, because he's probably not done with all the particular dealings that he's already dealt with.
Yes.
And I think aside from that is our lead Cooper. Just
Okay.
with how he's going to be going through all these sorts of things.
Okay. This will be interesting come season 2.
Oh, joy.
Okay. So, season 2 opens with a 2-part episode
Okay.
Lovely.
known as May the Giant Be With You. Any thoughts on what that could mean?
We're going to get introduced to a new character. Hooray!
Yes,
Yeah,
we
you've
are.
kind of hinted at this,
Yes.
about it being a giant or something.
Yes. You will meet a new character next
Oh,
week.
yay.
Bigfoot?
He,
Sasquatch?
he is not a Sasquatch. He is a man.
Okay.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, leave it at that, I guess.
Sure.
All right, so that has been episode 8 of Firewalk with us. I'm Paul.
Dave?
Justin.